Hello everyone, this is Brian with BSN Tech Networks. Today I am bringing to you a video tutorial that will show you the new page editor. This video tutorial is simply going to show you how to navigate and the different buttons to use in the page editor. WordPress changed the editor several years ago, and we have been using the classic one up until this period. So starting in 2024, we made the decision to go ahead and adopt the new page editor to make page load times faster instead of going with the old classic editor. As you can see, we are already logged into the admin panel of this website. So if you have not received your login information from us, please reach out and we will supply that to you. So in the admin panel, we're going to go ahead and hover over Pages, and we're going to click on this. Now, whether you're using Pages or Posts, the panel or the editor will be the same. The Posts section is used if you're making a blog post on your website. The Pages would be the individual pages that show up on your website. So in this case, this is just our test site that we're using, so the only thing that we have is the home page. I'm going to go ahead and hover over the word Home. You can either click on the word Home, or you can also click on Edit to bring up the editor. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Home. And after I click on Home, you see the page editor. Now, there's not much on here. As described, this is the title of the page, just Home. And then down here, I have a so-called paragraph block. And I just have new website coming soon. Check back soon for the new site. So in a paragraph section, obviously you can just click on that section and it will put your cursor there, and that way you can modify or change the text. So that's a quick and easy way to start changing text right on the page. Over here you have an update button at the top. As you can see, it's a little cut off on the screen. I'm going to move that down a little bit. So there's the update button for this page editor. If you don't click the update button, then your changes will not be saved. So be sure that after you make all the changes that you want to make, hit the blue update button. Over on this side, we have two different options. We have page and we have block. So I'm going to click on page, and we're going to go through those first. Now, if you notice that you don't have this sidebar, that's because you have it turned off. Up here, this button that says Settings, if you click on it, it will hide the sidebar, and it's in white. But if you click on it again, it highlights it in black, and then it will show the information. So on the page settings, it just gives you some general information about if the page is visible to the public, if it's password protected, when it was published, who the author is, and then scrolling down, featured image. This is typically not used on pages, but it would be used on posts. Usually when you make a post, you will have a picture to represent that post. So if you click on featured image, then you can click this, and it will open up the window for you to upload a picture. Now, if you don't have, or excuse me, if you already have a picture on the site, you can click Media Library, and then you can choose the picture. Now, of course, in this case, there are no pictures on this site. So I'm going to hit the red or the X up here, go out of it. Next is discussion. By default, we have comments shut off. The reason for that is because of all the spam robots out there. There's a lot of spam robots or software that will scour the internet trying to find different websites that allows them to post comments. And most of the comments are spam, and they'll contain links, bad language, things like that. So we have comments shut off by default on websites that we create. But if for any reason you want to enable comments, you would check this box. Again, this is usually not done for pages. It's done more for posts on a blog to solicit feedback. Next, we have the layout of the site. When we create a website, we create a universal kind of layout. Now, some websites we make will have a sidebar. A sidebar might either appear on the right side of the page, or it might appear on the left side of the page. We usually don't create sidebars since it does take away from the content section of the site. But in some cases we do, where we might put like affiliate logos or links, or sometimes people want their navigation down the side and things like that. So this sidebar layout, if you leave it as default, that would show the default sidebars that were already on the site. Otherwise, you have different options here as well. If you want to show the right sidebar, show the left sidebar, none at all. If you want to show both of them. So those are different options that you can use to override the overall website settings. Same with footer widgets. A lot of websites will have a footer. That's typically where you might have your logo. That might be a link navigation across the bottom, contact information like phone number, email, a Google map, other things like that. But so same thing with the footer widgets. The default means that it will have the default widgets going across the bottom. Otherwise, you can change that too. Next, we come to the content container. So a lot of websites nowadays are adopting a full width layout, which means that the content is full width across the sides. Some cases we do that, or in other cases we will rotate between full width sections and contained sections. So in this website, we are using the contained layout by default, which is why it says default here, and it looks like there is like margin or padding, as you want to say, on both sides of this material. So if we were to select full width, you will see that the information is going to then move to the left side of the screen. So watch over here, you're going to see when I choose full width, this info is going to shift to the left. And there it goes. So by changing it to full width, that means that this page is now going to be changed to full width mode to allow you to use the entire width of your page. You can also override it if we have your website in full width mode. You can change it to make this specific page in contained mode. And you see again, it then moves it back over to have the equal margin on the left and the right. Finally, we come to the section for disabling certain elements of your website. So as an example, the top bar. Usually on a lot of websites, you have a top bar going across the top. Maybe it will have, again, your phone number, your business name, or things like that. If you want to disable it on this page, you would check this box to disable it. Header, primary navigation, secondary navigation, featured image, content title, and footer. So same thing with all of these. If you want to hide the word home on this page, you would check this box and it would not show the content title on the website. So in the editor, it will still show it, just because that is the name of the page. But on the actual website, it would now hide the title from appearing by checking that checkbox. Okay, so we have now went through this page information on here. Next, we have block. I'm going to click on that, and nothing shows up. The reason for that is because we do not have a block selected. So what is a block? A block are the different features or the things that you have over here. So if I were to click on this paragraph, you're going to see some options appear over here. So I'm going to click on it, and now you have some options that pertain to the paragraph block. You can change the text color, you can change the background color, you can change the size. Now, these are just predefined sizes, but if you click on this little toggle button, it gives you the option with a slider to increase or decrease the text. Sometimes there's some hidden options in here. So if you click on these three dots, such as next to typography, it then gives you more options. So I'm going to click on all of these just so you can see them. So now we have more options. We have appearance, We have letter spacing, decoration, letter case, drop cap. So those are different options that are available for this paragraph. So for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to get any more in detail with this. That will be in the next video that shows more information about the blocks and how to use them. The final thing that I would like to show you on how to navigate this is this button up here. This button up here will kind of give you a document overview. If you are familiar with making a Word document, you have an option to kind of see an outline view of the document. And that's what this button will do. So when I click on this, you can see that over here it brings me another panel on the left side, and it's in list view. It will show a listing of all of the blocks that are on this page. Now, in addition, there's 3 dots again. So when you click on the 3 dots, it will give you different options specifically for this block. You can copy it, you can duplicate it, you can edit as HTML, which I would not recommend that you do, and there's also delete. In this case, I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of these. So I'm going to duplicate this one a couple of times, and as you can see, as I duplicate it, all it's doing is creating another paragraph. And as I hover over each of these, it's also highlighting it in blue on the website editor over here. So that way it kind of gives you an indication about which paragraph you are going to select. So you can click on it, it will highlight that paragraph, and then you can edit it and change it. So that is essentially the editor or the list view for how you can easily go between these. I'm going to go ahead and delete these now. So I'm going to click on these 3 dots, hit delete, and it disappears. 3 dots, delete, disappears. So that is easily how you can delete a section or a block on your website editor. The final thing I want to show you is how do you add additional blocks. So if you only have the page up, let's remove the list editor. If you want to create another block underneath this, usually if you hover down below, you'll get a little box that allows you to add another block. So over here, I've got a plus button. It says add block. Click on it, and it gives you some options here. Now there's only 6 that are showing up, but if you hit browse all, it shows the sidebar over here, and you have a wide variety of different blocks that you can insert. So some of the most common ones are headers, buttons, a grid, which allows you to make a column layout. We'll get into that in the next video. An image, containers, like a bullet list. So this is where you come to find the different options for making blocks. Now the other way that you can add a block, if you don't have this plus button down here, like if you're here and you don't see the plus button, you say, well, where's my plus button at? It's also up here. So you can hit the plus button, and same thing. This will show you all of the options. So to add another paragraph, you just click once, and it shows a blue line in the editor on where that's going to be added. So click, and it adds it to there. And then if we go back to our outline view, you can see there's the paragraph that was just added. So this covers the basics of how to navigate and use the page editor. As mentioned, the next video that I make will give more detail on creating individual blocks, how to do some of those advanced settings, adding images and things like that. So be sure to look at that next video, and it will go into more detail. Thanks again for watching. This was Brian with BS and Tech Networks.